Children, India became a free nation on the 15th of August 1947. A very important day for Indians. The period till that day, we call it as the pre-independence period. Pre-independence. 15th onwards, you call it as the post-independence period. Post-independence period. So how was everything on the 15th of August? Those who look at it from an analytic angle, the day turned to be a day of pleasure and a day of pain. It was a day of joy and a day of trouble. Why? Why do we say so? That is what we are going to study in this lesson. Post-independent India. Necessarily, we have to make an analysis here. We became independent. We turned free from the yoke of foreign control. Britain declared independence for one of its colonial powers. So India became free, but India had got divided into two, India and Pakistan. So what was the situation prevailing then? It was one of communal fire. Communal fire. It did not go cool. The division of the country gave rise to a number of problems. Millions of people, they thought that it was a day they had to choose their future. Muslims in India, especially in the north, they planned to go to Pakistan. They did not feel themselves secure here. When a separate country is getting formed only for the Muslims, Islamic country, they called it as Islamic country. They thought that they will have a bright future if they move to Pakistan. But the Hindus in Pakistan, they too did not feel safe. They wanted to come to India. India did not declare itself as a Hindu country. We declared India as a secular nation. But still, Hindus in the Muslim majority areas of Pakistan decided to come to India. Here Hindus were in majority, so they wanted to go to Pakistan. Millions of people, they start traveling from one nation to the other. Shelter and food were major problems. Those who come from Pakistan, they will be provided shelter here. It's not a few thousand people coming, in lakhs. Millions are coming. All over the border they are crossing. In all sorts of vehicles, by walk, by train, in whichever possible way, people who felt insecure in Pakistan, they started traveling into India. The estimates put the figure at 6 million. 6 million. 60 lakhs. 60 lakh people surging towards India for a secure life. And the government had this problem on its shoulder. So, we have to conclude here that India faced the worst situation possible. This is why we say partition did not bring pleasure, partition brought pain. The refugee crisis, the migration was a problem unheard of so far. Such a huge migration you do not see anywhere in the history of the world. Second point, integration of princely states. See what a state of affairs then. India was in pieces. There were 562 kingdoms within India. 562. And the British, as they declared independence, they are told that you can join India, you can join Pakistan, this left to you, or you can remain independent if you choose. The choice is yours, choice is of the kings, the princes, or the people in the princely states. You decide. We are not bothered. You can be a part of India, or if you choose, you can become a part of Pakistan, or you can remain independent forever. You decide. It's all a problem to be resolved among yourselves. So India had a federal structure. States would be formed. Into this federal structure you can join. I told you 562 princely states in India. It is not a simple problem. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he was the Home Minister. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was our Prime Minister. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the President. So a problem which cannot be easily measured even had to be faced by the Indian Federation. These 562 states, did they join on their own? There were quite a few who decided to join their own. They said, we will join India. Lots of princely states, they were working on the option, should we join or shall we remain separate? Many of them were not ready to give up their freedom at all. Why should we not remain independent? We have been given an opportunity to do so. So initially there was hesitation on the part of many princely states to join. Mainly three. Most of them within days and weeks they decided to join India. They took a decision. But Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad, these were three states which remained a big question mark to India. Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad. Sardar Patel, the then Home Minister of India, was known as the Iron Man of India for the grit, the firmness he has shown then, was very good in handling the situation then. Efficiently he handled it. He handled the situation wherein all these 562 states have to be brought under one federation was carried on very well by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So the question of internal security was there. We had meager forces. We did not have the police and the military forces to the extent we have now in the country. So with the meager forces that are there, the internal security has to be taken care of. There should not be a threat to the federation from within. And the task of attaining national integration. There should not be any discord. Each and every state has to enter into an agreement with the center. Papers have to be signed. It should be with mutual agreement. So a lot of work went to it. Economic system of the country was a damaged one. As you know, the British had almost looted the wealth of this country. Over those 250 to 300 years, they ruled India. They looted, virtually they looted India. So India was very feeble, very weak. Added to that now, you have the problem of the two nations that are coming to existence and migration of people. So the situation was hopeless as we got independence. Commerce, trade in the country, industry in the country, they were all drawing a big blank, big blank. Colonial power has to be abused as regards the situation of India is concerned. They had not done anything for improving the plight of Indians. So, the long drawn out colonial rule had made India bleed. Added to that, migration of people from one country together. That's what Dadabhai Nauroji had told in his drain wealth, theory of drain wealth. Day by day we are getting rendered poorer and poorer. So the drain theory you can very well exemplify here. You can very well understand how a colonial rule, the rulers therein, how do they make a nation or a colony build? A new constitution had to be drafted for the country. We did not have a constitution. Besides all these problems, it was another big challenge for the country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he took the entire responsibility on his shoulders. The drafting committee was there. And it was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar who became the chairman of the committee. They too did the job very well. It's a commendable job. A unique constitution we have in the world today. A unique constitution. All other countries, they are really taken aback to see the kind of constitution that India had prepared, which would pivot, which will give a big push to the efficient administration as well as an efficient growth thereon. We have an executive, we have a legislature, we have a judiciary, and ultimately it's a matter of checks and balances. No one is superior, no one is inferior. It's all a matter of checks and balances, each one holding control over the other. The independent Pakistan has seen a number of military regimes later on, legislature being taken over by the military. In India, it has not happened even once. For that, the checks and balances prevalent in our system is mainly important. Then, protecting our freedom. When you find a country to be weak, naturally, neighbors may attack. On the northern front, we had China, a communist country, an imperialist country who wanted to spread communism into other countries and, if necessary, take over them. On the other side, Pakistan even. Pakistan was trying to interfere in our affairs and take chunks of land wherever possible. Here the military might was required, but we had very poor military. Weak military we had. Gender and caste discrimination in the country. There's such a bad situation from the caste front. Upper caste, lower caste. Certain castes, certain groups of people, sections of people have been kept outside the community. People of the upper caste were not even touching them. They were not being permitted to come to schools and study. We didn't have a proper education system in the country. Schools were there only in certain pockets. So altogether, the situation was very dismal. So gender and caste discrimination, we had to develop a new foreign policy. What should be the role India should play in the modern world? Post-independent India, what stance India should take? So far the British used to overrule. Now we are independent. An independent country will have to have its own independent foreign policy. In the beginning part, Jawaharlal Nehru himself took keen interest in our international relations. The financial sources of the country were very weak. That had to be built up. Now let us take up communal violence first. There was communal violence almost all over northern India. Lots of lives were lost. Lakhs of people died. Lakhs of people died. Muslims killed Hindus, Hindus killed Muslims. See, number of people who lose their lives in communal clashes, it is said, it has been more than number of people who lost their lives in wars. Communal struggles, violence, they made the relations very bitter in the society. One section of the society will always be suspicious of the other section. This suspicion will mount. There will be violence. And once there is violence, it takes a lot of time to return, come back to the normal situation. We already know India is a country of many religions, unlike many other countries of the world. We have Hindus here, Islam, Muslims here, Christians here, Sikhs here, Buddhists here. We have Jews here. See, we have people of different religions living together in this country. There has to be harmony. Without harmony, such a situation cannot exist and continue. And we know well, why did this situation come in? It was mainly because of foreigners who attacked India, who invaded India. For a long period, it was the Islamic regimes in central India or in the southwestern part of Asia, Southwest Asia. From there we had different rulers with their armies marching into India. And they all came and stayed here. No one went back. They all came and stayed. That's why you have different religions here. Almost all religions of the world have a group or a section here in India. And the British poured oil to the fire. These different divisions, sections, religions that existed in India, they are trying to become harmonious. But the British went ahead with a divide and rule policy. Divide people, make them fight with each other, make them develop suspicion on each other, such that they should not be able to live with peace. So that cost a lot for the free India. The discord between Hindus and Muslims had been mainly fanned by the British sycophancy. They created trouble here. Right from division of Bengal, 1905, Hindus and Muslims were never permitted to live with a good harmony. So religious suspicions developed. Untold miseries of people. In northern India, they were torching each other's houses. You can't sleep in the night. You do not know when the other section would come and torch your house, rob your house, take away the girls in the house, do damages. So there was that fear that you may not be able to live in peace at all. They gather, become a big mass, and they go on torching houses and attacking them. How can you fend yourselves? It becomes very difficult. So lakhs of Hindus and Muslims died in the communal struggle. Gandhiji was very much concerned, but he was helpless. How will you control? Even as the national flag was hoisted in the ramparts of Red Fort, Delhi, Gandhiji did not participate. He went to Noakhali all the way. Noakhali is in Bangladesh. He went on fast unto death. He wanted Hindus and Muslims to come down and live amicably with perfect understanding. He insisted on that. Actually, leaders in Delhi told him not to go to Noakhali. It won't be safe, you don't go. But Gandhiji did not care. He did not care for his life. He loved his land like anything. So secular nation, on one side we had to build up a secular nation on the foundation of the communal violence that is going on. Lakhs of people are getting killed. The constitution will have to be prepared. And Nehru, he too was new. Maybe he was well read, but he was new to face this situation. And religion, in India, we decided to make religion a personal choice. You can be a follower of any religion you like. Government will not pressurize you. So 4 years after 1947, August, for 4 years we had to struggle very much to make the refugees almost settle down. I don't say settle down, almost settle down. 4 years, 1947 to 51, the country had been burning. When you come to Bangladesh, we don't say in 4 years things settle down. In Bangla, everything settled down only by 1971, after the Bangla war took place. And India supported the people in Bangladesh to raise against a tyranny of the West Pakistan's rulers. Bangladesh became free. So the episode continued till 1971, Bangla War. Bangla got liberated. Number of refugees in India then from Bangladesh. See, another refugee exodus from Bangla into India, 10 lakhs. 10 lakh people came from Bangladesh into India seeking refuge. So that was the Bangla episode. India enabled them to settle down. We were not harsh on them. We took every step to see that their lives are revered, respected. They are given a place for their comfortable stay here. And later on, when things cooled down, lots of people went back and lots of people settled here. They did not move back at all. See, Tripura, Meghalaya, Assam, they were all in the brunt of this refugee crisis. They are all states encircling Bangladesh. They all came under the pressure of refugees from Bangladesh. So 1960s and 70s, 50s, 60s and 70s. These 30 years we had a huge economic crisis in the country. Whatever you do to see that things pick up, they were not enough. On one side, population was increasing. On the other side, we did not have the required wealth, finance for progressive measures to be taken up. Vision was there, but how to go about? Such a poor country India was. Added to this, there were famines and droughts. 1 or 2 years it rains well, there will be floods. Then 1 year rains fail, there will be destruction then. We won't have food to fill our own bellies. So, in spite of all these crises, we see country working a path through and slowly building up. 1.2 lakh refugees came from China, 1962. From Pakistan, Bangladesh, everything we spoke of. Now from China. China attacks India in 1962. Before China attacked India, it attacks Tibet. We spoke in support of Tibet. The lamas there, Dalai Lama, Panchai Lama. Panchai Lama was killed by the Chinese forces. Dalai Lama, somehow with his followers, he crossed over Himalaya and came to India. That's a terrible journey. There were 1.2 lakh people. That's why China attacks India. You supported lamas. You supported Tibet. They wanted to teach a lesson to India. No doubt, they were interested in taking chunks of our territory and getting it merged with China. 1.2 lakh refugees came from China. Did we send them back? No. We made 3 refugee camps in India. One refugee camp, Dharmashala, in Himachal Pradesh. Dharmashala. Thousands of acres area was kept aside and they were shown the place. They were given all the necessities. They were made to settle down there. No doubt, Tibet is very thankful to us from that angle. That's Dharmashala in Himachal Pradesh. Bailakuppa in Kodagu, Karnataka. Bailakuppa. A cultural diversity, a diverse kind of culture you see. When you happen to go there, you can visit Bailakuppa. Tibetan colony. Tibetans have settled down there. Then you have Mundagod. Mundagod near Hubli, Dharwad. Near Hubli. As you move from Haveri towards Hubli, you get Mundagod. Another Tibetan camp. So Lama stayed mainly in these 3 places. 2 places were chosen in Karnataka, 1 place in Himachal Pradesh, and they all settled down. So these are called as Tibetan settlements. Even today they are there. They are confined to those areas. They have their schools, their hospitals, their trade going on, their industries they have set up, and they have not given up their basic culture as it is. And they are doing very well in India. Their religious head is Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama. And after one Dalai Lama, the next Dalai Lama takes over. Each of the religious leaders are called as the Lamas, Dalai Lamas. So 1.2 lakh refugees got settled down in these settlements, Tibetan settlements.